Hey guys, Azor coming at you today in Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the video. Send us some positive vibes your way today if you need it out there. Hey, it's the most wonderful time of the year with the king kids jingle belling and everyone yelling to be of good cheer. Didn't expect you were going to get a little musical intro in today's video, did you guys? Just a little special treat for you. But in all sincerity, it is the most wonderful time of the year. It's the holiday season. But for a lot of folks out there, it's the most challenging time of the year. I know that going through the loss of loved ones, for example, but going through anything that's bringing you down, or any stressors that seem ever present in this thing that we call life, it can make for the holiday season to be especially challenging. So today I just want to start out with a quick shout out to any of you guys who are going through something out there. Send us some love, some positive vibes, specifically your way this time of year. You know what I pulled? Speaking of vibes, I got some negative ones on my last summoning video. At the very end, we pulled one of the worst legendaries in the game, arguably, according to my bucket tier list, the worst legendary inside the game, active on the main global server. Looks to be some real duds that aren't active, so I hope they never come to the game. Anyway, I digress, guys. It's none other than Crach. So Crach, has anybody invested in this dude? I cringed all the way into maxing out this hero for today's video because I knew I could use these resources on so many better options, but I really wanted to review because I find it interesting personally, and hopefully a few of you guys do too, taking a look at the worst of the worst. Is there any redeemable qualities? You guys can be the judge at the end of this video. So Crach, what is my bucket? By the way, shout out to mabucket.com. It's mabucket.com, and then /tier-lists if you want to see all the tier lists. It's cool because they give a little synopsis and then he gives a recommendation on how to build them. It's pretty straightforward, and you know, some of these Watcher of Realms sites out there, I don't mean to throw shade, but have you guys seen any of these? It's like pop-up after pop-up. I can't even see the guide, man. And it's really nice on the bucket where it's not just pop up. I want to see what I'm there to see. I don't mind ads a little bit, but golly, I hate that when you click on an article or something and then it's just like, it scroll down and ads and you can't even find. Anyway, I digress. So he says, his attack range is way too short to be useful in most content. He is also in the awkwardly weak Watcher faction, and to add insult to injury, he has an unnecessarily high cost. So far, Crach is considered to be one of the weakest legendaries in the game. Sorry. Okay. So I maxed him out. Let's take a look at this dude. How bad is he?
It's bad enough that you've wasted your time with this absurd acting business.
Right? How bad is he? And by the way, we did a similar video on Azor, right? He's the first hero that I have, legendary that I have fully awakened. And I have to say that even since that video, he's grown on me a little bit. He's grown on me, so maybe Crach can do the same. So here he is, guys. He's got kind of cool aesthetic. He's got kind of a dwarf aesthetic with the, I guess he's a dwarf, right? I hope I'm not offending him. But he looks kind of dwarfy to me. He's got a cannon, literally, for an arm. So you would think he'd be an absolute powerhouse in terms of damage, right? He's got a little bit of the, you know, with the cannon out there. How do you guys feel about this game having champions or heroes like etc., like robotic type things with like gun type mechanics? I feel like that's an interesting aesthetical choice that really separates this game from a lot of the competitors out there. You know, I guess veering away or maybe running parallel to the fantasy aesthetic with different kind of maybe steampunk, or in this case, I don't even know what to call it, just robotic vibes. Anyway, when we get into his attributes here, a dwarf gunner with a right hand converted into a powerful thermal weapon able to deal damage to enemies in a wide range. So look at his range. It gets even more awkward in the battle, but the thing is, it goes like 2 tiles forward and then like 4 or 5 tiles wide, dude. And you know what? It took me to max him. I don't want to tip my hand on what I think about this guy, but it took me to max this guy and try him out in every area for me to actually appreciate how awkward that is. There's no area in the game, really, maybe with the exception of Tide, that helps, that kind of a range. Like Gear Raid 1, think about it. You want the extension. You want that nice vertical or horizontal, I guess, given the level, right? But then think of everywhere else. Like there's not many areas in the game. Maybe someday there'll be an area where you need this awkwardly wide range, and then like the little, it's weird. Anyway, his cost is 24, man. So listen, Setstrom's cost is 20. His cost is 20, and I think that's pretty pricey, but he's worth every 20 cost. So I'm not against expensive heroes in the game. Ajax is another one, right? He's expensive. What is he? He's 26, man. He really packs a punch. But if you're gonna be over 20 cost, you really gotta bring something special. And why am I on King Hars? We're supposed to be on Crach. Okay, so what does he do? Okay, real quick, he ignores 15% of the enemy's defense as a talent. So already you got my freaking attention on that, right? Like that's really solid. Ignore defense is extremely powerful in this game. On his cannon overload, fires 3 projectiles at a random enemy in range, each dealing 160% AoE damage to up to 5 nearby enemies on hit. When the skill ends, there's a 50% chance to gain misfire, which is rage regen -10. Ugh. So this reads really cool. It's almost hard to keep track of. It's 3 projectiles, but each of them are dealing their own independent 160% damage to 5 enemies. And then when it ends is, we don't know what's gonna happen. 50-50 coin flip, right? On his basic, he's dealing AoE damage to multiple enemies in range. And then the ultimate's projectiles will mark hit targets for 5 seconds. Marked targets will take an extra 40% extra damage from each basic attack. Okay, so it kind of pumps up our basic on the target locked passive. And then we have the blazing shell fire. The closer the enemy is, the higher the damage they take, which is good because his range sucks. Damage is capped at 27%, the increased damage that is. So I don't have him skill maxed, but I have him dust maxed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put skill crystals into this dude.
Your hate has made you powerful.
For artifact, we have the North's Judgment. When shield increases attack by 10%, when the shield disappears, the bonus will last for 6 more seconds. And then Awakened, we do have him A1, okay? So we're lucky or unlucky enough to pull 2 crashes. Just call me a crash test dummy. When the projectile deals damage, inflicts stun on the target for 0.5 seconds. We've seen his kit. Let's move on to the main show here, guys. I just want to test him in the arena. We're just going to try to go against a team that I just want to show you kind of like what he's like in battle, okay? So first of all, he's so darn expensive that like it's hard on this. It's hard to even find a team to put him in. So I'm going to put him in the anti-air DPS right now, but it's just like, when and where do I even place this dude, right? We're probably gonna lose here against Hoozy, but what I'm gonna do is, just because this team is a bit handicapped, because like I can start things out. Normally I would kind of establish my team around this area, like because of the cost of everybody, I'm gonna have to kind of concentrate the damage over here. I will move out of the way, by the way, so you guys can see the ultimates. Just give me a second. So let's go ahead and put like Hatsit down first and just take this first little wave to be an L. Wait, see, this is already, I'm asking myself, okay, where am I going to put this guy? I guess I'm going to put him over here. This is a musical episode, guys, in case you weren't aware. Every now and then I get a little bit, oh, they're out of range. Out of range of the ultimate, at least. Hey, we still are going to win, though. Yeah, we do. How about that? It wasn't pretty, but a victory is a victory, at least in the first round. Here we go, guys. We're going to save up all the way to 24 to put him on the board. And we're gonna give him, see, look at this range already, guys. You can see how weird this is, right? I mean, check this, I mean, it is weird, man. I can't even hit over there. I'm gonna put him over here, I guess. This would be the most advantageous area, right? Because he's gonna be able to hit basically the line of travel on everybody, right? He has an auto on his ultimate too, so we're just gonna see what kind of damage he can do, right? Now, the cool thing is everybody's gonna be, he's gonna get a damage bonus, right? Because they're gonna be within 1 or 2 tiles of him. So, I don't know, man. Let's just see what he can do. Isn't that awkward? Am I wrong on that? I mean, what do you guys feel? His ultimate's the same, by the way, you can see, right? All right, here he goes, the little fella. Can we zoom in a little bit more to this guy? See him in action? You can see his thermal nuclear weapon over there. I don't know. It's hard to see if he's putting in much work here, even against kind of the perfect use case in the AoE. But like, you can see the range already hurting him, right? Like I'm gonna put like Setram over here, but we really need somebody to be able to cover this area, you know? And even in Hatsuit, for example, she can cover this area, not with her ultimate, but she can cover the area with her basic attack, but not my man here. So there he goes. That was his ultimate, I guess? I don't know. It's hard to be super impressed with this guy, but I'll let you guys be the judge, and we'll see his total damage. And I'm just going to run him in a few little areas, but I think I'm already kind of tipping my hand here, guys. You probably already know that I am not a fan of this dude. I am not a fan. I just don't think, like, okay, his range is underwhelming, his cost is underwhelming, but his damage is super underwhelming too, man, you know? I didn't even show you how I built him, but look at this. Setram out-damaged him, and he was there for a whole round extra, you know? A whole round extra. I'm sorry for not even showing the build, but I will show you it right now. And then I want to take him into Gear Raid 1 just to show you like what he does against Massive Swarm. And I also want to show you him in Tide, okay? And then you guys can be the judge. So gear, we have attack bonus, we have crit damage, and we have attack bonus, okay? We have a calamity set on his basic. So his total stats are 12,000 on the attack. His attack interval is a base 3. We got down to 2.6. His crit damage is nice at 231. His crit rate could be a bit higher at 75, but still, with all that AoE, like, he should be putting out better than he did. Let's go ahead and try him out in, I just want to show you what he looks like in Gear Raid. It's hard for me, outside of Faction Trial, it's really hard for me to recommend this dude to anybody, you know? Let me just go stage 20. And we have him in here. We're danger BP. We're not going to be able to clear it, but I just want to kind of show you what he does damage wise. So I'm just going to put him as the very first unit down. And you can see already again, like how awkward this range is. I guess in some areas, maybe Void Rift and Campaign, there would be like very weird, like, look at this. It's perfectly awful. It's dodging all the enemies. There might be an area we could like kind of hit a boss and the mobs at the same time. So like, I'm not trying to sit here and be like ultra unfair to this dude. Maybe there's some unorthodox use cases where we can get utility out of him. I mean, he's already hitting the boss a little bit, which is kind of cool, you know? Let's go in here, and he's not doing much damage, but he is hitting the boss, right? So I wonder if, now I'm actually thinking here, wait a second, could we potentially kill this boss all on his own? I kind of doubt it, but let's just try it, right? Let's see what he can do here when he is left to his own devices here. And let's see the damage overall right at the end. We need to get Lasir on the board. Let's get Maul activated. We're going to lose the, oh, so the heal, yeah, the heal's going to negate everything anyway. So I guess it is what it is, but let's just keep going until the end, just to see his damage compared to everybody else. Keep in mind, again, he was the first one down on the board, so you would expect his damage to be pretty decent at least, you know? You know, I'm kind of treating this rather haphazardly in terms of I'm not coordinating my Dolores all the time because I'm just trying to like throw the match essentially, but I actually should try here because we're not doing that bad, but we're not going to win. Too much damage to the wall, right? Let's just end it. I'm like really making a mockery of my timing here, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to wait for the enemies to roll through and just kind of see what kind of damage he was able to put out. So you guys saw that, again, you can see the potential of that kind of weird range, maybe providing a little bit of utility. I mean, look at him, dude. The first one down puts out 4 milli. You know, Maul was what, the third or fourth one down? And he was able to almost, you know, well, out damage him, you know? I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. Gear Raid 3, he doesn't have the range really to justify using him. That would be the area that most people would say, okay, he's a marksman with some unique attributes. Maybe Gear Raid 3, you can find some use case and potentially putting him, like, having him cover mid, maybe? Maybe we have him like, we have like a Maul or something on the side. We have a Razak on the other side. And then we have him, I don't even have him on the team, but maybe we could have him like over here and just covering a wide range or something. I don't know. I don't even think it would be worth it in that situation. I'd rather have a massive range like this, you know, rather than have it being super, super wide. So I don't know, guys. You tell me if you're seeing a use case on this fella that I am not, but let's try out, other than faction, let's try out the one area where I think that he could actually at least be used. Even if you don't take him to level 60, maybe the answer is Tide. Here we go. This is going to be wave 125. Tide just got a bit easier, and I have not really, you know, gone. So here he is right now. Again, with this range, I actually don't really want him in the corner. I'm going to take out Vierna, take him off too. I'll put Vierna over here instead, and then I'll put him over here because I want him to, you know, be able to take advantage of his entire range. So let's just see. I mean, I know we're going to win this wave, excuse me. I know we'll beat it, but I really want to see what he can do in terms of damage again. So we'll see. What do you guys think of the Tide? The new and improved Tide. Tide's not my favorite part of the game. I'm not like a massive hater like a lot of people are, but I'm also, you know, it is what it is kind of to me, right? It's fast, usually. Usually you just keep going until you get stuck and then you're just collect your rewards every day, right? We got a boss approaching. It's hard to even see what he's doing here. Where is the little fella? There he is. Nope, that's Dolores. He is taking advantage, Crach is taking advantage of Dolores here, so keep that in mind. He seems to be doing okay, but it's very hard. Tide is very hard to, at least for me, very hard to parcel out who's doing what and how much of that they're doing. So anyway, guys, here we go. So everybody stays alive. We beat the wave. Let's do a quick damage check. We got a big team full of all kinds of all-stars here. Is he able to actually make an impact on Tide? Legendary skill crystal. Oh, Volca soulstone. Oh, well, that's good. Hey, this has got to be his spot, guys. We found his use case. I hope people watched all the way till the end because this is actually pretty impressive. I mean, I have a lot of stacked, really good heroes on the account in the Tide, you know. We get a Vierna, we get a Maul, we have all Evercetrum. I mean, you see all the arrogance, Azor. You see everybody, Ajax. And only two, you know, my top two damagers were able to out damage him. So I have to say, Tide, I would rank him going back to where things started. In the Tide, he get gear raid 3, he gets an A-. Again, on gear raid 3, I would say maybe he can cover mid. I mean, that's the only area that you can really use him anyway, unless you want to use him on that right pedestal, like when that one swarm wave comes. Void Rift B, I would say it's going to be a very Guild War A, I guess. I don't know. Hard to rank him there. Everywhere else, even basic trial, he gets a C. Guild Boss C. Tide C. Well, you know what? Hey, we have one little point, one shining silver lining for people who watch until the end of the video. I think this dude is kind of a beast in Tide, man. If I had him fully skilled up too, I mean, he could maybe fight for that number 2 or number 1 spot. Granted, he was in very good positioning compared to some of those other ranged DPS as well, so you have to factor that in. But overall, I was pretty impressed with Tide. Other than that, though, I would say too, EXP and gold rates with that range, you could kind of put him in. I'm going to go back to the game real quick. Another area we could utilize him in, promotion or EXP and gold, excuse me. So let's just go to gold and let's go to stage 7 and let's put him in here. God, I hate when they kind of just auto pick for you, but it doesn't really matter. I just don't have, these guys are naked right now. So where are you, Crach? Where are you, Crach? There he is. Oops. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. I'm thinking we can run, I'm thinking we could run him here. What about over here? Could he, yeah. Okay, I'm finding some use cases here, guys. I'm really finding some use cases. You can see that spread shot does work if you can find like these corridors and position him kind of parallel, right? I gotta say, we started pretty bad on this dude. I'm not sure if he's good enough to like make my, well, he's gonna make my main Tide team, that's for sure. Not all is lost when it comes to my resources, which is selfishly what I'm most concerned about that cost me to make this video, you know? So I gotta say, man, if he's the worst legendary in all of Watcher of Realms, then legendaries in Watcher of Realms are pretty freaking stacked. Because a lot of, in Raid, for example, there's a lot of worse legendaries than what he's able to provide, right? I mean, you could definitely use him in those, not just Gold Raid or EXP Raid, but also in any area that has those like interesting, basically you can make a choke point and have him cover an entire big stretch with his second wave, right? So again, the damage is not gonna blow you away here, but not too bad. What do you guys think of Crach, guys? I appreciate you watching all the way till the end of the video. Thank you, and as always, take care, guys.